Morning everyone, welcome to Zimba Motoring. My name is Nez. Now today we're going to do a little fun comparison. I'm going to do a back-to-back drive of the new G29 BMW Z4 S-Drive 20i M Sport versus my current E89 Z4 S-Drive 20i M Sport. So this should be a good comparison. So the new Z4 has got radically new proportions, new front bumper, new headlights, all LED. And you got new wheels, 19-inch wheels, and bigger tyre sizes as well. Inside you got an all new interior. Love that magma red leather interior with the decorative stitching. And then you've got the new steering wheel, new infotainment system. You've got the new instrument cluster, all digital 10.25-inch screens. New iDrive system, gear selector, everything is all new. And then if you come to the rear, my favourite aspect of the new Z4, so you've got that wide rear end. This car is wider, taller, it's got wider tracks but shorter wheelbase than the E89 Z4, of which my car comes with the 19-inch wheels. It's got the classic proportions we got used to with the E89 Z4, so it's going to be interesting to see how they both drive. Obviously the new car has got 197 brake horsepower, 236 foot-pounds of torque, but the same 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This car comes with the same engine, 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo, but it's got 181 brake horsepower, 199 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60, 6.9 versus 6.6. So, obviously the new car is more efficient. Overall, on paper, it's the better car, but let's see how they both feel out on the road. So, let's start off with that one, take that for a spin, and then I'll take my car out for a drive. You join me in the brand new BMW Z4 G29 S-Drive 20i M Sport. Now, this model is the entry level, so for the UK, there are going to be two available trims. You're going to have the Sport model and then the M Sport. So this is the 20i M Sport. So first impressions, this feels much more comfortable than my actual E89 Z4. I've got it in Eco Pro mode, and this car comes with the adaptive M Sport suspension, but boy, the ride is a revelation. Coupled with the Michelin Pilot Super Sport tyres, yeah, it rides really well, it rides really good. My car can be really hard on rough terrain or just bumps, it crashes quite hard, and you can tell there's a big jolt within the cabin, and this is really comfortable. So the 20i M Sport comes with 197 brake horsepower and 236 foot-pounds of torque. The 30i, which is the one above this, 30i M Sport, comes with 258 brake horsepower, and then you've got the big boy M40i with 340 horsepower. Genuine initial impressions, great ride, and also the car feels much bigger than my E89 Z4. And of course this car is taller, wider, it's got a shorter wheelbase though than my E89 Z4, but you can feel the extra width and the size. It just feels much bigger in here, and the cabin feels much more spacious. I've got much more room, and I'm also sitting a lot higher. I'm sure if you've seen the video when I've done a side-by-side comparison with my E89, you can physically tell this car is taller than my E89. Though in a sports car, I prefer to be really low, whereas this now, I feel like I'm in the same height as the other cars. So that's a trade-off. Now, overall, it feels really refined. In terms of quality of the interior, it's a step up. The steering wheel is really nice. I mean, it's got the steering wheel that's on the 5 Series, M5, and all the other BMW models. A really nice size steering wheel. It feels great in my hands actually. So I've got a few buttons. On the left I've got my cruise control buttons, and on the right I've got my radio, phone controls, and a shortcut to the BMW Intelligent Personal Assistant system. Next up are the dials, completely revised, brand new, all digital instrument cluster. Really nice, very well laid out. I love the fighter jet style nature of the actual dials, it's really cool. Then you've got your infotainment system, which is again a step up from the Z4, E89, and then all the nice center console bits. So right now I'm in Eco Pro, and it's telling me how much fuel and how to save fuel, which is quite cool actually. The dials all light up in blue. And then moving up, just underneath it, I've got adaptive. So the car predicts the situation, my throttle position, and it adapts the car and gives me power. So if I floor it, it picks up and goes. Then next I've got comfort mode. Again, just chill. The ride is still very good. The steering feedback is really good as well. It's quite nice actually. And then you've got sport. Yes, see, I've just got the gearbox in D and it's kicked down already. Throttle response is a lot sharper. And let's just floor it in. Straight away, you've got the fantastic turbo blow-up valve noise. Sounds really good. And the engine tone, wow. Again, that's a step up from my E89 Z4. It sounds much louder. Wow. Oh, the pops. Oh my goodness. The pops are a lot louder. It pops much louder than my E89 Z4. Sport sounds the business. Oh my gosh, that's a definite improvement on the E89. So let me put it back into Eco Pro. So this sounds a lot better than my E89. Gearbox, this comes with an 8-speed Steptronic Sport automatic transmission. It's just as smooth as my E89 Z4, if not marginally better. The interior feels the business. The seats are so comfortable. Great bolstering. I'm really properly hugged in. The only thing I would say about the E89 seats is the bolstering is great, but I don't feel so supported up here. Whereas these, I feel like they're really supporting me well throughout my whole body. So it's a really nice setup actually. So let me put the roof up and we'll get a feel for what the actual cabin quality is like with the roof up. See, my E89 Z4, that was one of its party pieces. So put the roof up and it's like two cars in one, because it's like a coupe. It's so serene and quiet and refined. You don't even know it's a convertible. I've had passengers in the past who completely shocked that it's convertible. So auto start stop in Eco Pro. Very quiet in here. Feels very solid. Not much road noise coming through. You feel very excluded from the outside actually. Yeah, that's good. So for this off-top roof, you can get two options. You can get one in anthracite silver, which is an optional extra, or you can get it in the black, which is a standard feature. I recommend going for the black roof. I think it looks better, and also it doesn't show off the wear and tear as much. So if I put it into sport mode, I wonder if I can still hear that 2-litre 4-cylinder engine. Yeah, I can still hear it. I can still hear that lovely exhaust note, and I can still hear the turbo flutter and turbo blow-off note. So this car also comes with a launch control feature. So basically you have it in Sport Plus, move the gearbox into manual mode, put the airspeed into dynamic traction, and then come to a standstill, foot on the brake, build up the revs, let go of the brake, and the car just accelerates. It's got BMW's personal intelligent assistant. So all I have to say is, hey BMW.
Hello, what can I help you with?
That's cool. So there you go, there's the BMW's intelligent personal assistant. This car comes fully loaded with tech. It's got a BMW digital key, so I can sync my phone with the car key, so I never actually need to have my actual car key. I can just use my phone, put it on top of the wireless charging, and the car can start, and I can share it with 5 other drivers. This car has also got lane departure warning, Cruise control has got a heads-up display. It's got so many great driving features. First impressions, I'm very impressed with this new Z4. Genuinely impressed. It feels good. The added power is welcome. It feels a little bit quicker. Let me just show you the lane departure warning. It's a great safety feature. So basically, the purpose of it is stops you drifting away into another lane. Right now I'm doing 50 miles per hour. I'm drifting into the other lane without indicating, and look, the car corrects it on its own. I didn't even have to touch the steering wheel. So let's do that again. So I'm drifting towards the next lane, and look, the car corrects itself and puts me back in the middle of the lane. Very cool feature. But if I indicate, then it knows I'm actually intentionally wanting to go to the other lane, then it allows me to go. But it's annoying, especially when you want to make a quick move into another lane. Here come the BMW jokes without indicating. I see when you want to go around cyclists quickly without indicating and it fights you, then that might be a situation to be aware of. If you do many miles and you've got a big commute, then I recommend maybe trying the 20iM Sport, because in terms of fuel efficiency, it's very good. My E89 doesn't come with Eco Pro and all these latest fuel saving gadgets. This car, when you come off the throttle, it regens, so it takes the energy and charges the battery, even though this car is not a hybrid. Quite a cool system, and then there's a graphic on the infotainment system that shows you the car regenning, so it's quite cool. They've modernized the Z4, it's got all the gadgets, all the good features. One little criticism I've noticed already is I wish they had a little toggle switch or a button for these different drive modes, for Sport Plus, Sport, Eco Pro. I'm constantly having to look down to see where Sport mode is or Eco Pro mode is. That's 6,500 RPM.
In 2.3 miles.
It sounds good. Definitely sounds good. And there's that torque. Gearbox is great. You almost think it's a DC2 because it's so quick. Yeah, so quick on the up changes. Gearbox is fantastic. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better than the E89. I think it's a step up from the E89. It's more about progress, I guess. You can't knock it for that. Something has to be said for this great heads-up display. It's so well laid out, it's very clear. So on the top left, I've got the actual speed limit on the particular road. It tells me where I am in the rev range, so it's got like a little rev counter. Then I've got the actual speed I'm doing. So right now I'm in the 50, set the cruise control to 50 miles an hour. And it also displays the sat nav in there, so it gives me instructions whether to keep right, stay straight. It's absolutely brilliant. In terms of spec, it comes with a comfort package, which includes that wind deflector, and so far on the motor I'm doing 50. The buffeting is actually not that bad, it's actually fine. So on the motorway you certainly notice that extra bit of torque, because the car, even in auto and sport, if I just floor it, it's there. The power's there and the torque's there, so that's a hugely noticeable aspect on the new Z4 is the torque. It's so torquey, I don't need to over rev the engine. Top 3 things I've reported so far. First impressions, ride is excellent. The interior is a great place to be, especially with all this tech available. The seats are so good, and I love the look of them as well. They look really plush. So the interior is an absolute step on, and the exhaust sound, it sounds brilliant. The 20i sounds brilliant. So ride, interior, sound, brilliant. So what are the differences between the G29 and the E89 20i? So first of all, the size. This car feels so much smaller than the new car. It feels tiny, and I'm sitting so low to the ground. I've got that long bonnet right in front of me. I feel like I'm sitting on the floor, and the cabin is shrunk around me. It feels really tiny in here. Next up is the steering. The steering feels noticeably heavier. It feels much heavier than the new one. The new one's very light steering, but still good feedback. Straight away I can tell the ride feels, yeah, much firmer than the new G29. I can feel pretty much every single bump. I feel like the windscreen in this E89 Z4 is a little bit more sleeker than the new one. There's definitely more turbo blower valve in the new car. I can hear the pops and bangs, but in the new car they're much louder. It's all very incremental changes. The gearbox in this is still fast. This is an 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox. The new car comes with an 8-speed Steptronic Sport automatic. There's not much in it. The new car is a little bit better in terms of gear changes and gear speed, but there's not a huge difference. See, this is one thing I miss from the new G29 car. It's this. Those pops on upshifts. Those are so cool, they're so good. They really add to the experience, and on the new car, they've gone. I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I'll prove it again. I mean, brilliant. They just add to the theatre. But maybe you can map it to pop on upshifts, but it's a shame. It's a shame the new one hasn't got those. But I would say the new car does feel faster. Do have to go down a gear in this to get the same feeling I was in the G29. So the G29 definitely has the better torque, more power. One of the big differences is the interior. The interior in the new car is a lot better in terms of more tech, feels higher quality. You got heads-up display in the new car. You got full digital instrument cluster, new infotainment system, lane departure warning. But in here, it feels very old school compared to the new car. Going back to what I was saying in the G29, in this E89, you got a simple 2 buttons to go up the driving modes. You just got, if you push up, it goes into Sport or Sport Plus, and if you push the other way, it goes down to Comfort. So that way, I don't have to take off my eyes off the road. Whereas in a new car, I always found myself having to like, oh, where's Sport again? Oh, there it is, because there's like 5 buttons down there. In fairness, maybe once you've had the car for a while, then you know where the buttons are. I kept finding myself having to take my eyes off the road to say, oh, where's Eco Pro? Oh, there it is. It sort of seems unintuitive, especially if they've got heads-up display, a full digital instrument cluster with an integrated sat-nav all there in front of you, and then to have all the driving modes down here. The E89 feels less cluttered. It feels like there's a lot less going on. The newer car, if you look at it technically, it is a better car than the E89. But the E89 has the size, it feels compact, and it's got that hardtop roof where in the winter, it's 2 cars in one. And also, it's very refined in here when you got the roof up. It's a coupe when you want it, and it's a convertible when you want it. That's the E89's party piece. And the new Z4 feels like it will do many miles. It will eat up the miles. The new Z4 does the GT stuff very well. Yeah, the new car definitely sounds better. Yeah. The new car, overall, I think, if you look at it objectively, is a better car. Even though I think this, in terms of styling, the front end on the E89 is better than the new G29, but overall, sound, comfort, ride, interior, tech, it beats the E89. But there's still something charming about the E89. There's still something special about this car. Got a lovely McLaren 570S in orange coming up, as well as an M3. Looks absolutely fabulous. Is the grown-up version of the E89. It does everything very well. It does the long distance stuff very well. The E89 Z4 values right now, you can pick one up for 15,000 or just above depending on mileage. So whereas the new car is £42,000. So if you want, stick to the E89 for now, then upgrade to the G29 once the prices have come down. There's still a charm about the E89 that I still love. Oh, there's something about the E89, I don't know what it is. It just feels special, this thing. I don't know what it is. It still looks good. The E89 feels right. I know I haven't got a reversing camera. I've still got my rear parking sensors with PDC. I'm really enjoying being back in the E89. And obviously, at the push of a button, even though this takes 20 seconds, whereas the new car only takes 10. But the mechanism's still quite cool. So the roof goes in two and then it splits up and the rear goes over the top or the back. And then there you go, 20 seconds. The Z4's party piece. It's now a coupe. And it looks brilliant with the roof up. Yeah, a lot to think about. Both cars are brilliant. They've both got their own appeal. And yeah. If you want the latest and greatest thing, definitely go and get the new Z4 G29. But this car still has a USP, which is the metal folding hardtop roof. It's lower, it's got more of the sports car ingredients. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe, comment, share and like this video. Click the notification bell so you know when the next video is up, and hopefully plenty more Z4 content coming your way. So thanks for watching guys. Bye bye.